Well, hello, and welcome back to part 3 of my mini series called The Rooftop Bar, in which I comment and review some footage I recorded whilst playing Battlefield, especially the newest title Battlefield 6 during its open beta phase, in which we exploit and glitch ourselves onto the rooftops of the map Siege of Cairo. And as you might or might not know, that map is not initially intended to be exploitable in such a way, but there were quite a couple of spots which player could make use of to get onto the rooftops of the individual buildings, parachute from one alleyway to another, etc., and have quite some unfair fun on the rooftops. And as said in previous parts of this mini-series, I've got a background in software engineering, machine learning, especially in the defense sector. So I'm quite a fan of weaponry, warfare, etc., and of course a huge fan of the Battlefield series. But seeing as I am a software engineer, I'm actually not so much into gaming myself, but rather into how exactly the game works. So computer graphics, computer vision, etc. are topics which are really interesting for me, and I'm much more focused on the game itself in the sense of its design, its rendering, how exactly the engine works, its internal structures, etc., rather than into actually playing the game. So don't expect any high kill-death ratios, some insane point farming or kill streaks. I'm really just having some random fun, especially with all the bugs and small little details of the map itself. With that being out of the way, let's jump right into the footage. So yeah, the queue was quite short in the beginning. We had moments where we were like the 200th whatever player in the queue, but probably this is just a case of EA having to spool up and down several instances of, I don't know, Amazon Web Cloud or Web Services servers. So we're jumping into a new round here of Cairo, and again spawning on the right hand side as the NATO faction. Spawning in a tank as an engineer. No, sorry, as a recon. I'm driving past Delta, getting out, capturing the objective. And yeah, I love this concept of the white lines or blue or red lines being spray painted onto the map itself. I think it's making it more obvious where the boundaries of an individual sector or objective are. I like that. However, I still like the display, or I preferred the display in older Battlefield titles on how exactly the status is of an individual objective. So I'm throwing down C4 here onto the road in anticipation of those tanks coming over from this side, from the left hand side. Triggering, of course, the C4. And, well, I think C4 doesn't do enough damage compared with, for example, Battlefield 4. It takes, like, I think 4 times well-placed C4 in order to blow up a tank. But on the other hand, I also think that it was too powerful in the older game titles. So, I'm not sure. I think it could be a little bit more powerful in this specific title. But overall, I like it. And I think it's quite well balanced, especially considering like the blast radius and the damage and so on. And I think I like the system of it being well recharging, and it seeing as it automatically refills. I think it's well balanced. If we would keep the older system of it not being to recharge, or you have to go to an ammo crate to pick it up, I think it was better with the higher damage it dealt. But I think overall a well balanced. Well, that was a fiasco, I guess. Anyways, seeing as we have captured objective Bravo, I'm trying to spawn on there and glitch myself up onto the rooftops, as you've already seen in part 2. So if you haven't seen part 2, you go down the eastern side, to the eastern side of Bravo. You smash in the windshield of a bus. You have to glitch onto the windshield wipers, throw some C4 onto the facade, and blow it up. The building facade comes raining down, and then you jump again onto the windshield wipers. Sometimes that takes a couple of tries, onto the debris, and then you glitch into the river itself, and you can jump onto the next building. Then you climb up the antennae, or the satellite dish. I think I was being cautious because I think I heard an enemy down there. Yes, exactly. Anyways, you climb onto the antenna, then onto the corrugated roof, climb up there, jump onto the next roof, climb onto the AC, jump across, pull yourself up, then climb again onto the... Oh, that was idiotic. Back onto the AC, the corrugated roof section, pull yourself up there, then onto the antenna, then onto the water tower, and then you can parachute across the street. And basically that's it. There's an invisible wall up there. You have to do a small jump, and then you can place down your beacon. It's well hidden out of sight where it is right now. The team is capturing Bravo again, and then you can jump onto the small roof. You have to do that because otherwise you would get stuck into an invisible wall. Climb up there again, and then you've got a perfect spot to go to either, for example, Alpha, which is where I'm heading right now, or back to Bravo or Charlie or whatever. So yeah, actually, concerning or addressing the overall elephant in the room of me being able to glitch up there. DICE has listened to the player feedback during the beta phase, and they published a statement actually, which is quite promising. So they were aware of all those players glitching up to the rooftops. They said it wasn't intended, and yes, they had in mind that ladders will be a feature of the game, so there will quite be a possibility remaining of players being able to glitch themselves or to climb into higher stories of individual buildings, but still the possibility to be on the rooftops themselves, that was not anticipated, or at least that is not intended by DICE. So they are going to fix the map in order to prevent stuff like that in the future. So I guess that's quite a it's quite a good news. In order to keep the map a little bit fairer and more balanced. Still, a part of me wishes that they would have decided to open up the rooftops for everybody, not only the glitchers, but overall I think that's quite promising for now. And yeah, that was one interesting piece of news. But still, I think that still begs the question, why did they keep the rooftops so detailed? I mean, yeah, I get the point that you can see the AC and the antennae down from the street, but still, there are quite some details up here on the rooftops where it sometimes doesn't make sense. But maybe on the other hand, the rooftops themselves are or have been procedurally generated. But on the other hand, the geometry is still baked into fixed positions. So I don't know. It only partially makes sense, I guess. Anyways, I'm kind of heading to Charlie using a new path. Last time I first went to Alpha and then flew over to Charlie. So this time I'm trying to do a new route. I lost that player out of sight, I guess. Oh, look at that wall. Look at the graffitis on the wall. I love it. Unfortunately, I do not speak or read Arabic, but I'll have to go back again through that footage and try to translate that. Because I'm not sure what they wrote down onto that facade, pointing towards Alpha, but I'll have to check that and I'm going to have to translate it. Interesting. So, anyways, heading over to Charlie.
Enemy contact in my AO. Contact. Enemy neutralized.
I think when I'm going to have a little bit more time, I'm going to go back to a shooting range and try to shoot again, well, either the weapons or weapons pretty similar to Battlefield 6 in order to compare how exactly the reload animations, sounds, etc. were compared to shooting them out in the range. I think, who was it? Garant Pham. I think he made a video where he tested nearly every weapon, or at least shot every weapon which also occurred in the game, and that was quite insightful. But still, after having played so much Battlefield 4 and 6 during the past couple of days, I think I like to head back out to the range myself. Especially the one range, which is close to where I live, like I think half an hour's drive. They've got the MPX, they've gotten MP7 and MP5. They've also got the MCX Spear and a couple of other weapons. So I think there's going to be quite a choice. That dude definitely saw me, the way he was hiding behind that, yeah, behind that lamppost. And look at the rooftop on the other side. People have glitched up there as well. I guess they came back from the highway. Would make sense, I guess. Oh, and I have to forewarn you, this footage got corrupted whilst I was capturing the game. So later on there are going to be quite a couple of cuts or jumps due to the footage being corrupted whilst trying to export it. So FFmpeg had quite some troubles trying to read that footage. I don't know what exactly happened to the drive, but yeah, seems to be the case for a couple of game recordings. Yeah, I don't know. Beacons always break here on the rooftops. It isn't the case down on the ground, and it isn't the case on other maps, definitely. But up here, beacons are always breaking, so I try to respawn not on my squad mates, but here on the beacon itself, so I can redeploy it at more or less the same place. Which is a kind of weird bug, but I guess it makes sense. Oh, there's another tank. I don't know, it's so much fun to throw down C4 and blowing up the tanks. I saw a... I'm not sure, was it a video or reel or something like that a couple of days back, where somebody was on exactly the same rooftop as I am right now, threw down some C4, blew up the tank, and the driver was, or I don't know, was it the driver? Somebody was ejected from the tank, and he shot him while he flew up in midair. It was rather a cool bit of footage. So again, throwing down some C4. And I think one of my squad mates spawned on me. Yeah. And is trying to hit that tank using a RPG. Some other guy down there spotted me.
Enemy attack confirmed at Charlie.
Yeah, there are three of my... I think the entire squad is right here at Alpha. Yeah, as you can see, an RPG hitting the wall there. I love the explosions and particle effects and all the damage and so on. I really do hope that this Battlefield title will be having some Levolution effects, as was the case with Battlefield 4 and Hardline to a certain degree, and also later Battlefield titles. But I have to say, I love the Levolution events most in Battlefield 4. They were like so grand scale. Thinking, for example, at the tower in Shanghai, or the flooding of an entire map and so on. I love those transformation, and unfortunately they got scaled down a little bit more in later titles, especially in 2032. I think there weren't any really grand Levolution effects as they were in the Battlefield 4 maps. I love that you can jump down from such a big height and doing some kind of roll and so on, but honestly it is a little bit... Well, it's a great deal unrealistic to drop from down from that height and just to take minimal damage. Oh snap, I forgot that the beacon despawned. Yeah, I realized that now, checking the map and realizing, okay, I have to place down a new insertion beacon. So, our squad is staying at Alpha, trying to troll the enemy, mainly either from the rooftops or constantly climbing down there or dropping down there to Alpha itself. I think I'm going to record a little bit more footage from Battlefield 4, and I'm going to show you how you can do the glitches on Pearl Market, because I've got so many Pearl Market vibes right here, and I think I want to show you where you could exploit yourself onto the rooftops or on different parts of a map, especially in the game mode chain link. It's so useful. Judging by how I climbed up there, I'm going to go back to Charlie. There was an enemy down in the alleyway, I think. Either way, at least we heard the shots down there. I think I cannot decide right now whether to go back to Alpha or to Charlie. And oh, what the fuck? Yeah, I got stuck in the geometry and fell down. So manual redeploy, because you cannot get out from down there. There are a couple of spots between the rooftops where you can fall down or inside of a building, and you either fall out of the map or land on the bottom of the map and cannot get out at all. So I tried to respawn on Bravo, yeah, and sometimes that happens. You have to really jump onto the windshield itself. It usually takes a couple of tries, and then glitching up there through the rebar, it's also a bit difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it's rather easy. You have just to get into a specific spot. It takes a couple of tries and that's it. So, same route as before. Going up there, up the water tower, paragliding over to the next building, jumping again onto that invisible wall, placing down the beacon, and I'm shooting at Bravo in the hopes that I get spotted on the enemy or on the enemy's radars. Apparently not.
Hostiles are attacking objective Charlie.
Is there a tank approaching? Yeah, there is one. So, throwing down some C4. Oh, that was a lucky hit. Sorry, Yeah, because the other guy was trying to destroy the tank as well, and I think the tank was at quite low health, seeing as it took only one round of C4 and one shot from the RPG. I think the RPGs as well are less powerful than they were in previous Battlefield titles, or I might be mistaken. Maybe it is also, well, maybe I am mistaken because people are constantly repairing the tanks. Maybe tanks are also weaker than they were in previous titles, but you definitely don't notice that because usually one tank is accompanied by a couple of engineers. So enemies are trying to get Bravo, shooting them down from up above, like an asshole. Throwing one grenade. Oh. Did I damage one of those mobile barricades, or did I damage a player? I think it was a barricade. Judging by the hit marker, it didn't look like I hit a player.
Enemy attack confirmed at Charlie.
It's so bizarre, like, you can float on some of those invisible walls or ceilings. Oh, I got hit by the antenna. Or the satellite dish. Huh. Whatever. You can jump. Sorry, you can walk on some of those invisible ceilings. But oh, that was an impressive hit. I love the destruction. But yeah, you're quite sluggish when you try to do that. I don't know why. I don't know what exactly they programmed as a material. Whoa! I love that tower flying by. That's such a cool destruction animation. I really love that. And the graphics in this title, I really love it. But honestly, back when Battlefield 4 was published, I also thought that this was like a really photorealistic game. Looking back on it now, not so much, but honestly, back then the technology wasn't as ready as it is right now. And I also think that huh, that was weird. Oh, I bet you can go into that upper story room. Not sure whether you fall down there into the internals of the building, or you can get out of it at all. Well, being more careful this time, in order not to fall down into the geometry. So I jump over to Charlie, trying to hit a couple of tangos there. There's another tank blowing up. Oh, there were quite some enemies down there. Oh, I realized I had the 20 round mag in order to have a faster reload compared to the, I don't know, what was it, 40 round mag or something like that? Oh, only a damage assist, not a kill. Oh. Was there a oh, never mind. Oh, there are still quite some colleagues on the other rooftops. I love that map. I love it. It's so much fun. Oh, the sniper saw me. Oh, that is also a corridor. Oh, double kill. Okay. Yeah, sniper saw me, definitely. Now they're onto me. Quite understand. Ooh, nice shot. Really nice. Yeah, that was one corruption of the footage, as you can tell by the tickets. I think there's another glitch in the footage itself. Ironic, yeah. Ironic that the footage got corrupted while trying to test out some glitches and bugs in the map. Anyways, I love the destruction of that building and the entire facade coming down. So cool. Also volumetric smoke and so on. Quite a lot better compared to the old sprites in older Battlefield titles. And that's the end of the round. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I think we are going to leave it here, and I wish you a wonderful day. See you soon, guys. Bye.